Soul. I'm Michelle Holden, the artist behind the channel, and this week I had the inkling of doing, as you can see, another affirmation art journaling page, but my start is similar but different, and I'm using some different layers because that's my initial intention. This page's affirmation is, I am open to receiving unexpected opportunities for my creative and spiritual growth. I am open to receiving unexpected opportunities for my creative and spiritual growth. So, as you know, affirmations they're somewhat specific. The main thing is you really need to believe in the actual affirmation itself. And if you want to learn a little bit more about my affirmation art journaling, I have a blog as well, and head on over to the blog post. The links to my website are there in the descriptions. Welcome to anyone who is new here. I am so glad you're here, and my channel is all about mixed media. It's all about the intuitive process. And I'm putting up my paints. So we have a very bright yellow. I forget which, I was going to go with the yellow oxide, but this is a brighter one, and I'm so glad that I did. Let's see, Quinacridone, Magenta, teal, white, and black. And I just wanted to stick with 3. I really didn't end up using any of the blue, and that happens quite a bit. But for some reason, I needed to go, of course, got my sleeve in my paint, which is so hilarious. And I just start. It's like stream writing. I just keep on going with that intention and feeling it, visualizing it. And then I'm partially covering it up using my color shaper. But my plan is to go dark, then light, with a very thin layer, and then bright color, and then come over it again. Almost going like light, dark. You could probably, I know you can, do cool, warm, alternating layers, that's what I meant to say. And the great thing about using the color shaper is the layers are so nice and thin, but really effective and really quick to dry with the hairdryer especially. And I realized I didn't take out any of the hair drying. I usually shorten those up just so there's less watching the hair drying, but you know what? I'm just going to leave them in this time in this video, and we'll chat. So I had this intention of having the black and then filling in with very bright, of course, the yellow, and I will leave the colors in the description, the video description. And just mixing them up, being some orange, some pink, and I love this color for its pinks, especially when you use it really in thin layers. So the whole idea, what I'm starting to explore now, is transparency. Transparent layers of paint and collage. Now, in this particular page, I chose, as you can see, a variety of collage papers, but didn't end up using them. So now, here I am going over with a light, very thin layer, and I'm really liking, if you didn't notice, when you scrape just quickly, these really interesting organic shapes appear. And then I'm scraping through with my awl, noticing, and you can really adjust according to the angle of that color shaper, the thickness of the layer so easily. So I'm using a variety of opaque and transparent, and I really, really love how how I'm starting to find layering that I like. So this is so good. I so needed this page, believe me. I've been sort of, I don't know, probably overthinking things and not doing enough of my own exploring off camera. And this can happen, especially when you have a YouTube channel and all these things going on. So I'm really looking forward to my summer and doing the things that I've been planning and writing about in my journal for quite a while now. So that scraping through, it'll leave such a great layer, because then on the bottom, I'm going to come back in with black, but not quite yet. And this page, the layering was so rich that it didn't need a lot of collage, just a little bit. And you will see. So please stay to the end. And don't forget to like and subscribe, especially if you're liking this content. I am over 200 videos on my channel now, and I would love to keep growing. So stay, follow me, create along with me, watch a video. I've got quite a few different categories. And as you can see, I just put down the yellow oxide. It just was a little more, it was a little less strong, I guess, the hue. And I had an idea, and I just needed this color for some reason. So I had it to the right there, ready to go. So I'm adding more water to this layer and more white, because I really want to soften the value. And just putting it around, probably laying it near the opaque spots, but not necessarily. So now I'm going to just mix that in. And this idea is a fantastic, just to start, for backgrounds. And that's sort of what I'm thinking in a way. I'm keeping my mind on the beginning layers of a painting, and then that's the real plan, not a planned, but sort of a pre-planned, and then letting it go after that. Especially, and always especially, when you're doing an affirmation page, so not forgetting what's under there, so the energy is still there. Being open to unexpected positive opportunities is amazing. And one did arrive today. So that is totally amazing. Looking forward to this project. And maybe later on in the future, it's a bit of a big project, but I am honored and excited to see where it goes. So notice the brayer. It does such a nice, subtle lifting job. And now, see how the scratches? So next time I do the same, and repetition is important, I'm learning. Just like reading. And doing and using the colors and sticking with them to really see what they can do before moving on too quickly. So that was an accident. I realized, ooh, the water spattering. This is really nice. So I just exaggerated that and really got this older, aged kind of feel to it. And I'm really loving how those layers are building. So you still can see the beginning layer, but so much is added. They're very rich, luscious layers is what I'm really looking for. And as I'm drying this more, pastel is another soft medium to use on acrylic, as long as you cover it up with your gloss medium. And just where the pastel is, you can follow the lines or just paint over the area. I use the gloss, and it seals it, and it's just great. So the palette knife, and I've been wanting to use this, practice it more in this scale, but when I move to a larger paintings, like 24 inch by 24 inch, or even 12 by 12, I will increase the palette tool so it stays in the similar ratio, and it really does an amazing job. Of course, I always keep my color shapers. So I wasn't liking the thickness of that paint, so I just scraped it off. But you need to remember to do it soon enough, or you can put a drying agent, anti-drying, so it slows down the drying of the acrylic, and you can put that in and pre-mix it. I've done that a lot too, but I've since gotten used to the speed of the drying. So now, then coming in with black, and look how it picks up all of the texture. So this is the physical texture that's occurring. I really like that. So keeping that in mind, and of course I'll write my notes, and I should have videoed that, recorded that too. I will remember in the next one. The next page underneath this, with the leftover paints, is going to be the next one. So I like to do series that are similar so that you, followers or other creatives, can sort of follow along and stick with those colors for a little bit. It just requires so much exploration. So now I thought, okay, I need a collage. This was okay. It totally overpowered all the wonderful subtlety that was in there. Now, the size is okay, but I went much smaller and more pink. It's okay, but I know I love that over there, and I didn't want to cover it up, so I didn't. So I went to the left of the page instead. And it's so neat, you know? It's the 5-second rule? 3-second rule. It's 3 seconds. Okay. So, no, it's not doing it. It's too warm. This is a much cooler page. So, loving that. Now, since it's so powerful, I went smaller. Oh, no. This is the one that it was close, but it was too opaque. And I'm thinking, okay, no, that isn't transparent enough. So I have a piece of deli paper or tracing paper, I forget which. They're very similar. And I use that soon, but not after putting some weight in the bottom, just with some nice solid black and bringing more of that pink down, but realize my brush really need to be, see, now that's echoing, almost like reflecting in a way. And I could come up a little higher, as you could see, but I didn't want these 3 sections to be the same. I wanted them to stay 3 different sizes, small, medium, and then large. And it just happened to turn out that way. So, realizing this really needs some black and white. And notice the texture on the collage is very similar to the texture on the page. And I love repeating that, but in a different form. Repetition is wonderful, but changing, having differences, it really adds to the dynamics of your substrate, whatever it may be. And making sure I'm staying in camera, even though I like to go to the side, but this is just a clear medium, so that's okay. And no, it needed to stay at the bottom, closest to the black. So as you're creating your collage papers and pieces, try making them really an element, not really becoming something like a house shape or anything. They don't need to be anything. What you're doing, or what I'm doing, I'm just explaining, is it's echoing something or it's repeating an element. So you're emphasizing any part of the painting that you want the viewer to just look over, ponder over, or think about. Now, I know this isn't a painting, it's my art journaling page. And believe me, all of this stuff doesn't go through my mind while I'm creating this page. When I'm creating this page, I'm thinking of the intention, the joy, and letting it lead me. I'm only getting to show you, to explain to you why I may have made these choices. And just keep an eye in the near future. I will be busy this summer creating my course, and it's going to be a free course at first. And I'm going to be breaking up, doing a new approach and a new type of journal, and mixed media, of course. And we will break it down, and I will be offering that soon. So loving that black and white, and that other piece, which was a little bit of text, just over on the right, and that tiny piece next to that pink. Now, I wanted to put more in. You know, why not, right? I love this. Still wondering if I could have, but for some reason this page needed to be quiet. See, I'm thinking, I thought, you know what? I love it. It's very overpowering. So I thought, okay, so let's shrink it down. Maybe. But I didn't. I just love that. So that's tracing paper just with brush strokes, and the more organic, the collage, I just love it. So then I was thinking pink, still thinking pink. I thought, okay, let's go pink pastel. Very light. So now, so I'm mixing that up, and then I'm going to come in with a white pastel and blend it in and really get the characteristic of, spontaneity now contrasting. So thinking difference in another way. And that's strong red under there. So I'm going to just go over it with some white. And then I add, of course, my vertical circles. But at the end, it was a quick decision. Not a lot of thinking, it was just reactive. And I'm really loving these early layers, and I'm going to be working on those. So I'm mixing up the parchment and thinking, okay, that's not bad, but it really needs to reflect the pink in the background of that area. So the change, the contrast is subtle. Nice. So then the eye moves up and across, and I might, I know what I forgot to do. I forgot to do some nice lines in the pencil coming down. And right now I'm using a pink pen and I'm drawing on it, which is so awesome. So now I'm writing the affirmation. I am open to receiving unexpected opportunities for my creative and spiritual growth. And I really like how I chose white. And I know sometimes I go, oh, I wish I could write in a different style or whatever. But I think I just use print. And if I have a particular, if I had a thinner paint marker that, had a wedge, And I love calligraphy, so I used to do a lot of calligraphy. I used to make my own Christmas cards with full out calligraphy. That was a long time ago. It was very cool. It is very cool. So here we go with some pink Posca marker, just some subtle dots. And just, you see how it's just a subtle bit of orange picking up any. So now see how the eye moves from left to right better just because of that orange line. And it's very subtle. This one is quiet, but with a very much heavier grounding at the bottom. Now, of course, when I have black and white, I love the sprinkles at the end. They're my favorite. It just adds that texture. And drying them, making sure they're dry so they don't smudge. And then while I'm drying, I'm thinking of my next move, reading the text, feeling the positive energy, and it's all good. It's such a wonderful, wonderful practice. And I'm finally carving out some time as I get back to a good routine. I want to start with at least doing 3 or 4 of these a week in my journal, and over the summer, want to do them daily. So the tape came off so nicely this time, and it was a very, very peaceful, enjoyable affirmation art journaling page. And I hope you enjoyed it and try some of these layers yourself. So I'm just writing part of the intention. I have it on a little card, and I'll tape it in on the other side and write down all the good things about this wonderful page. And I hope you enjoyed it as well, and carve out some time for yourself. So I will see you in the next video.